Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. Today, Teardown.
Teardown.
I've noticed that I've been getting a lot of pretty crappy, can we develop a mobile app for you
Hey, me
kind of
too.
cold email lately. You too, everyone listening, it's a thing. Surprisingly, this one landed in my inbox, not spam, and not even a website contact form, which they've been coming in lately more often. I think they've got deliverability issues, but it's bad. And I thought there was a way that they could have worded it so that I would have actually replied and potentially
Nice.
have paid them money to do stuff. They just didn't take the right approach. So I took a few liberties and assumed some things that probably weren't true, but I ended up rewriting 2 emails
Okay.
that would have gotten me to reply. And we'll call it a teardown, but it's really just a rewrite.
A rewrite, a teardown rewrite. I'm loving it. I want to see it. I want to chip in as well. But before,
right?
We're gonna hear from our sponsors.
Today, yeah, that's right. Today, most B2B companies lack the time and expertise to turn cold prospects into, you guessed it, warm, qualified sales lead. So at salesbread.com, we bring you 1 lead or booked appointment per day using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. If you want to find out some tips, some ideas for your campaign, some strategy before you end up partnering up, maybe you just want to share what you're working on and I can give you some insider pro tips. Head over to salesbread.com/contact, get in touch, share some details, and I'll rock your world with some helpful tips.
Awesome. And on my end, I still didn't write my one-liner, but QuickMails, awesome, powerful platform to build your cold outreach email, also including a lot of really cool thing for deliverability. So if you have deliverability problems, give QuickMail a go. We also include the auto warmer, which you can use for free as well. So no excuses here.
Jeremy's modest pitch there. It's good stuff. Check it out. Now, let me share some screen with you guys. All right. So here we are, and this is the cold email.
Can you make it a bit bigger? Awesome.
Yeah, of course.
Love it. Perfect.
So, yep. Subject line is interested in getting a mobile app developed. And I'm going to read it quick because everyone here has read something like this.
Yeah, I got 6 like that in my inbox. Yeah.
Exactly. It says, greetings. Apologies if I may have disturbed your schedule with this email. I was reaching out to check if you require any assistance in the website or mobile app development at this stage. We don't ask for any advance payment till we deliver work to you. If it appeals, please revert, blah, blah, blah. Book a calendar link here. Regards. Okay. And then
was that actually Calendly? Was that actually like there's like it's mentioned like using this Calendly link, but the Calendly is Calendly. Has that was that actually a typo in their email, or was that actually you?
Typo,
right?
No, this was a typo from them, and then this I actually hid.
Yeah, of course.
I chose to blur it out for
the real link. Yeah, I like also the end. What I like. Like when you like something kitsch, you know what I mean? So I like the end where they say like not interested, respond, and then it's like opt out, all uppercase as well.
As if you did it lowercase, they wouldn't.
That wouldn't work. They wouldn't accept it. Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's look at the nuts and bolts here.
Yeah.
They've got a pay us after we deliver, which is kind of okay. That's takes some of the risk off. 1 point. Lack of a point for targeting. I mean, again, Jeremy, like I've taken some liberties for the rewrite. Liberty 1 is I actually have an app that I need help with development. That's the biggest one. So I'm going to ding them minus 30 points for how they've list built in this case. Like, I'm sure they could have found companies more likely to need a mobile app right now. For example,
That's true. But here's a question for you. Would you still reply at the end because you do need a mobile app?
What do you mean?
Like, if you need a mobile app right now and you receive this, would you still reply to them in the end? Even if, they did a pretty piss poor job.
No, I don't think so, Jeremy. I would have been like, well, I don't trust you at all. I think you're going to build a crappy app. No, Emma, I'm sorry. I don't believe you would provide me with a good service.
Here's the interesting thing here is that you just mentioned to me your concern. Your concern is the quality of the app they're going to build, not that you're going to have to pay. So they're putting in front the concern about payments, like, oh, it's going to cost me a lot. But I think they should switch to the quality stuff because that's your concern, right?
Yeah, quality, need. Is this going to help my clients? Am I going to be glad that I paid you guys to build something? Would I use it? Would it bring my business to another level? But that's the big stuff.
The important thing that I want to mention, especially for listeners, that it's too quick and too easy to talk about like pricing when the person is still not ready yet, right? Yeah. And then you're gonna mess it up one way or another. If you offer, like, for example, 20% discount, they're gonna say, oh, this person's desperate. Their service must be really shit for offering like already like 20% discount, even for I'm not interested yet, right? So talk about the price last. But so I see that as a weakness, trying to say like, oh, don't pay now and stuff like that. It's like, it's a weakness for me as far as I can see.
Okay. So let's go into the rewrite that I've, again, taken some liberties, but this should have gotten me to reply. Are we ready? Are we at that stage yet, Jeremy?
Yeah. Can I, before we go there, can I actually just say a few things that I would change, and you, without necessarily telling me, if you changed it, but first of all, apologize. I may have disrupted your schedules. Like, obviously you ditched it. I'm sure you ditched it. You should replace greetings with at least your name, right? That's kind of the easy one. Check out to required. Like, I'm not sure how you would have rephrased that. We don't need payment in advance. You probably are changing their bullet points to something else than pricing. And the call to action is way too big and too fluffy. I'll just put like a one-liner with a question mark at the end. I may have added a PS and of course an intro as customization. So like this is like the 10-second sort of like rewrite without going over. Like these are like the 101 stuff. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. You hit them, but not all of them, and not the most important thing for me.
Okay, cool. Let's look at it.
Before we carry on, this is interesting, Jeremy. Do you want to take one more stab at it and pretend you're a genie and you can wave a magic wand? You can literally put any advantage you want behind this campaign. Do you want to try that one last time? What benefit you would use? For example, you can make up that everybody on Shark Tank, all the investors backed your. You know what I mean? You can.
I see what you mean. So
you could potentially best friend. John Carlton says I'm his guy for whatever. You could say all that stuff.
I created an app for Frankenstein's dog or some stuff like that, like things that no one else will do. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like you mentioned very often, with reason, is that just give me a starting crowd if you are a restaurant, right? So there are a few things I can play around. Is I could do. We could potentially look at the pilots, or we have a process that you can go through, or that's been vetted by other people potentially, whether it's your friends. Like something that will basically give you 100% confidence that what we're going to build is not junk. So it could be that we've been or apps been used in very important domains, whether it's some sort of recognition, whether you use vanity metrics or not. Like it could be like some of the app we built been like top 5, on Apple Store, those sort of things like that. or
Close.
the people that we are getting have worked in those companies. Like people that are working for us have worked in, and then you can drop like very big names, right? So
good
for the experience.
Close, not quite there, but you are
I'm not
on
as
the
good
track.
as you. I'm not as good as you, Jack, for sure. Yeah,
I appreciate that, but I think it's just let's take a look.
Okay.
I think we've dragged this out long enough. Okay, this is the cold email that have got me to reply, and then we'll look at a follow-up here. So subject line is Ninja Pineapple. No, I'm just kidding. Subject is SalesBread app. It says Jack.
Oh, I like it. I love the subject. Right.
SalesBread app, right? So got to start off with some personalization. It says, Jack, I've been binging on cold email outreach podcasts and especially love the Teardown episodes. Hope this email meets your standards. To listeners, you want me to reply to your message, or at least the first
just copy it
that I get?
Because just copy it verbatim. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect.
Just use that. In fact, I'll tell you, for the first 10 people that do use that, I will reply even if the rest is terrible. Just glad you listened here.
How could you not reply to this one, honestly?
Exactly. Right. It says 2 other lead gen agencies, parentheses, Company X and Company Z, partnered with my team to build a mobile-friendly lead generation campaign dashboard for their clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you basically use, the competitors. Thing.
Yeah, let's take one more step though. Competitor plus benefit. When one of the founders mentioned that it's helped them retain clients for 2.5 months longer on average, I wanted to know if you think SalesBread might be able to benefit from something like this too. Just reply yes if you'd like me to share details on what the app does.
All right. So
or
it's
even
not
better. Let's just say, just reply yes if you'd like me to share more details.
So it's not bad. What my concern will be is that a lot of emails now sound kind of the same, and it's hard to. This is the difference between if I tell you I'm smart, for example, you would feel like, oh, let me think a second. Is he really smart? But if I tell you things and then you start thinking like, oh, that guy is smart, then you will trust your own judgment. And so here you're putting the judgment to someone else. One of the founder actually mentioned X and Y, Z, but it's still not as good as you would think that, oh, with what they'll do, I can, retain my client longer, right?
Yeah. So you're describing show, not tell.
Yes, exactly.
So if in Switzerland they've have the Apple billboards like we do, but they always have billboards that say "shot with the iPhone," whatever, as opposed to saying we got 1 million megapixels.
Exactly.
It's like, no, look at the
exactly.
So how would you work that in here?
So there's a few elements that I will incorporate. I will probably talk about my team, right? I say we can provide you high quality, whatever. So I'm okay with like, instead of saying 2 other lead generation partner with blah, 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 which is start to become too common for me. I would say we specialized in helping lead generation agencies. All right. So that will be like, oh, okay. So, we are your market. We're like, they're serious about that. So I'll be something like that. We brought
what about the name drop. The name drop.
Well, if you can, then that's okay. It's like, but I wouldn't drop them straight away. Maybe here, I would maybe even like do it as a PS. We'll help Company X and Company Z. I'm sure we can find something to help you too.
Okay, I'm really interested. I think your points are great. I just want to pinpoint the part of it that what's the right way? Do you not? Does it rub you the wrong way? Does it sound boastful?
No, I think it's okay. What bothers me pretty much is that it's too templatized in a way that it follows too much of the cold emails these days, right? And so therefore, because it follows too much of the cold emails these days, I don't trust them anymore. So I think nowadays, I think we probably need to either find a different narrative that is more powerful or maybe a different angle, but I think a different narrative is effectively what I'm looking after here, right? This one, for example, is a silver standard, right? nowadays, right? I think it used to be gold standard.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, if no one had ever sent this template, it would be gold, nice, move on.
Yeah,
right?
platinum even, right?
But because everyone has seen something like this, it's less credible, perhaps.
Exactly it.
Okay,
Exactly
cool.
it.
So let's actually pause here for a minute and work something else in. So maybe we say let's use this as a PS.
Yes,
Okay, like
that's
you
much
mentioned,
better.
right? So PS, and let's try saying
so the PS could be, we partner with 2 other lead agencies you may have heard of. Those ones.
Right.
I'm sure we can find something to work together or something like that. Like,
yeah, okay. We partner with 2 other, okay. 2 other, boom. You may have to build, you may have heard of. Okay, let's, so the PS would end like, maybe you've heard of them. It's just in passing, no big deal. Okay.
exactly.
For this show, not tell, we would say,
we've been building 100, or we've been building X number of maybe mobile apps already for lead generation agencies.
12.
And maybe here you can put in parentheses, you may have heard of 2 other companies, and then you could have effectively those 2 name drops if you wanted, the name drops very early on to build credibility.
Yeah. Okay, that's
and then
interesting.
here is the next thing that I think will be very different, and I would love to see what the stand up for, right? So the next line will be probably, and bear in mind, what I'm saying could be complete rubbish. It may actually not work, right? It may actually flop.
No worries.
But I think I would love to see that. It's like, here's what we stand for. And then you will respect them way more. So it's like, but not obviously in here's what we stand for, but something like, one of the things that is important for us is, and then blah, blah, blah. And then you basically just put things that could be like, for us, what is important is to have people who work with a minimum of 5 years experience, thing, or we make sure we deliver on, like, what do you stand for, as a company? And I think that's something that is missing here, because here anyone can sort of like acquire one client and then leverage on this one step in, but it's still not, it wouldn't actually build up my belief in that company or make me look at them differently, right?
Okay, so what if we said this?
Exactly.
Our
our
B2B conversion team guarantees that our mobile apps will increase your average deal size or your money back. Deal size using, let's use NEARS, let's say like habit forming. Let me know if I'm off track here. Habit forming dashboards. Dashboards.
That could work, but I was more thinking into
tell me.
Into their value. So it will be like, for example, our company stands for blah, blah, blah. Or like, or even better, you could call it for what it is. It's like the difference with any other companies, we stand for those things, right? Those sort of like idea. And so I think I will resonate way more with someone who stand up for something in that world.
Okay. So I'm a little bit
confused.
Get clear. Can you give me one thing you would stand for?
Okay, I'm getting clear. Like, for example, I would stand for, let's say I'm contacting, not necessarily a charity, but something that's a green type of company. It's like, we stand for working only with green type companies because we believe that the world, whatever. And that means that if I resonate with your message and what you believe in and what your values are, we're gonna bang straight away, right? We're gonna.
I think that's.
We're gonna join together. It could be,
and
it will make
it's a risk. You have to be tapping into someone already believes that. So with the Green Initiative, with the nonprofits, yes. With average business owner, you would have to strike a chord that
Oh, that's
is
a good point.
likely,
Average
you know what I
business
mean?
owner.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
or you
we
could
believe
start with our
average
mission
business
is.
owners pay too much
Yes,
for
exactly.
mobile apps these days, right?
100%. That's a great one. That's
Yeah,
a fantastic one. If
yeah,
effectively you're about like making things affordable, we believe
yeah.
that,
The,
people should not have
the
to pay more
average,
than what is
yeah,
needed. That's the sort of idea.
should, yeah. Okay, cool. So should not pay more than is needed, bada bada.
Or
And
even better, we
by the
believe
way,
that
yeah,
most shop overcharge their customer. We stand by, doing fair pricing and stuff like that. If this was like sort of like, most shops are overcharging, their
right.
customers. We stand for fair pricing, whatever you want to actually do.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
see what I mean? That would actually, I think that's the next level in that sense, right? I think that's the
Okay.
level that at some point will need to happen. And it's kind of like building your branding, because now I will say, okay, this brand is about fair pricing. That will position it in my head.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna table
No, it's going to be too
this
long. It's
just
2 hours
because.
to write a cold email anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, fair. So what I'll do is I'm gonna say that was uh great insight. I'm going to seriously think about this while I can work in a case study that is so tailored. I know it's going to resonate. I think there's a combination between that case study and showing, not telling as directly. And that's going to be the work for this rewrite, where, as you can see or listen, there's a lot of edits going on here. And fast forward 2 hours, we will have a nice hybrid email. But for now, I think we
That's
should take a
right.
look at the follow-up I created. Again, writing to myself, something that I think I would have responded to, Jeremy, you're going to tear it down. That's actually kind of an interesting part of this cast. Is like,
Yeah,
it's a
and in fact, if
3-layer
people want
teardown.
more, I mean, we've been doing this
Yeah,
type of exercise in the course, and where effectively it is a 2-hour episode where we actually effectively go through, and
yeah,
then you can see a whole iteration of how
more
we
than
actually
two
came up.
hours.
Yes.
Yeah, if you like this and you want more, course.quickmail.io will take you there. Highly recommended if this is resonating and helping you write better cold emails, even though we're going to stop halfway here. But yeah, this is
That's
like a
just
3-layer
a mumble
teardown.
jump,
Layer 1 is the original, layer 2 is Jackson, layer 3 is your edit of Jack. So it's kind of cool here. So let's see the
Oh, let's see the
follow-up.
follow-up. Follow-up is interesting.
One day later, hey, Jack, here's a screenshot of the lead generation campaign dashboard that Company Z is using to keep clients longer. Insert screenshot. Should we talk about setting this up for a sales spread with a Calendly link? And then PS, since this dashboard has already been built, you'd be able to get it for a fraction of what other agencies paid. What do you think?
Very interesting. Very interesting. I love it as a base mark. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Here's what comes to my mind is like, oh, this guy really know what he's talking about. This is awesome. But here is the other voice that is actually stronger. Sadly enough, is like, holy hell, he's actually showing proprietary stuff from other people. I wouldn't like that to happen to our app, because it's a breach of confidentiality. And then suddenly, bam, I don't trust this person anymore at all. And I think that person is a scammer. So I have to. So he
what
instead,
if these were grayed out? What if these were grayed
no,
out?
no, you don't need that. Like, instead, what you do is you actually show the screenshots of the app in the App Store, because then that's public. I get it. It's fine. There's no, violation of anything. It's like, here's, the app on the App Store, like, taking a picture of the App Store. Then I will be fine. I will say like, oh, that's cool, because he also show me like, oh, this is the result he gets on the App Store. Right. And so that person can get me my app on the App Store. Right. It's like even nicer. Right. I love the, should we talk about setting up something like that for sales spreads? I think I really love it. It's simple. It's clear. Here's the calendar. The PS, I think the pricing is not something that I would probably build, because then now you actually cheapen your service suddenly, because I see like, oh, you're just basically cloning stuff and then changing my name and stuff. It's like, oh, that's going to be something cheap and crap. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So,
I do agree. Let's say, okay, here.
Yeah, give it a second go.
Either,
what would you do?
okay, second run at it, I might say, okay, currently, let's try this. I'm going to go with how much people love the app already. So currently, the app in the screenshot has a 4.8 rating with over 2,000 downloads already after 6 months or something.
I love the
right?
idea of you taking some, you could even take like some specific review and then highlight the thing you want. Like here, like here's your latest review, for example. And then it's something like, love this app, super fast, super light, whatever is the actual thing you want to put, forward, whether it's the quality,
Right.
whether it's the design, whether it's the, so that's cool.
Including this review on the UX, and it's like easiest app to use by far.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something. If you want to still play on the pricing side, which I would probably say something like, PS, all the person we talk to, like we always manage to have a price that fits people's budget, or something like probably not said like that, but it could also be something about the the price would be probably the best thing, or something like that. Like you'll be surprised by how much it actually costs in in reality, or something like make it play in the budget, if this is a
maybe
worry.
you can say, sure. So it'd be like, PS, even though this app is in the top 10 downloads for business dashboards, it doesn't come with a
FT tag price tag or
top
something
10 price tag. Exactly.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Happy to share more
Or
details.
you'll be amazed at how affordable those are these days.
There you go. These days, right. Something like that. Again, maybe price is the wrong tree to bark up, as you mentioned earlier in the teardown.
But it could be like, if price is maybe at the 5 email or something like that. Hey, by the way, if price is really a concern, just want to throw out there that, we're never going to go above like 5 figures or something like that, or whatever you want to do, or some of the example we said.
It just depends on where your strengths are. So if you happen to be the budget dev shop that can make stuff in the App Store for cheap, then you want to mention that quicker. But if you're not competing on price,
you shouldn't compete on price no matter what. It's a bad move.
Especially for development. Okay. Hey, Jeremy, that was really helpful. I think this 3-layer teardown was probably more insightful for me than other teardowns before. So I'm glad we could do a review of the reviewer. So thank you. That's about it for me. I mean, this is probably where most of the I'll call it opportunity lies. And for those listening, I'm talking about the original email that Jeremy and I were tearing down together about merging this show don't tell with a case study that should be relevant enough to elicit a response.
Yeah, a few things I want to mention is that be clear on what your company stands for in the world. It's not cool to be the clone like everyone else. Like if you say like, well, I don't know, I'm just like doing apps like everyone else, well, then your email will look like everyone else, right? So that's the first thing you need. You can't just use your client as a differentiator. At some point in the world, you're going to have to build your brands. So better start now. It's good to think about it. And second thing I forgot, but it probably wasn't as important anyway. So that's my key takeaway here.
Hey, building your brand, having a damn backbone, right? Standing for something. I like it. That's a new thing that I don't think we've explored so much in cold.
No, we didn't.
Writing.
No, we always talk about the reciprocity. Exactly. Because honestly, like if someone actually I did send back, someone came from Quickmail and say, hey, how can I max out, is 1,500 emails the maximum you can send by email? And then I reply like, are you trying to max out your email inbox? And they say yes. And I just reply, well, okay, you're not the right client for Quickmail. And then that's it. It's done. It's like, it's fine that we don't stand for anything. It's like, if you want to play the volume game by just, maxing out your inbox and sending lots of email, just don't come on Quickmail. Just save yourself some time. Go bother some of our competitors. I think they'd love to have you. But for us, we're more playing the low level, low volume, high reply rate, high personalization. Yeah. You can still do that with multiple inboxes. This is fine. You can, have 10 inboxes with 10 emails each or something. This is fine. But if you try to max out one email, you're not playing the right game here. So you're not the right fit. And our agency knows it anyway, so I'm fine. but stand for something, right? So don't accept
Jeremy, that's
everything.
well said. That's brilliant and inspiring. Thank you. And for more of the good stuff from Jeremy and myself,
Yourself.
course.quickmail.io is
You
the
You
follow-up.
taught me everything.
Debatable. All right, Jeremy. Hey, great conversation. Thanks, man.
All right.
Seriously.
You're awesome. Thanks, Jack. Bye.
Cool. Bye.